There are still a lot of questions about what happened there tonight. We talked earlier to a terrorism expert and assistant dean of the College of Criminal Justice at the University of New Haven, Vesna Markovic, about what we can glean so far from what happened. Let's talk about the fingerprint of this attack. We don't know who is behind this yet, but we know a little bit about what happened there. What do you make from this simultaneous attack in different places and the weapons that were used? What do you think?
There are only a few groups that use the simultaneous attacks or have used it in the past. ISIS, for example, Islamic State, is one of them that has used the high-powered weapon attacks. Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, AQAP out of Yemen, was the one that did the Charlie Hebdo attack, which was also using the high-powered weapons. Yeah.
What do you make of the timing in this, with the apparent killing of Jihadi John recently? We were talking about a plan like this could have been in the planning stages, but perhaps moved up to coincide with what happened. Tell me about that.
It could have. It's very possible. If you look at the Charlie Hebdo attacks, AQAP came out and said it took them a year to plan those attacks. And so a coordinated attack like this probably took some time to plan. If they were just going into, let's say, one of the venues and just shooting, that doesn't take much planning, but from what I'm hearing, there was a suicide attack, which would also, or suicide bombing, which would be the first suicide bombing in France ever. So yeah, that would take a little bit of coordination.
They have been spared from a lot of this stuff, but one of these incidents happened fairly close to the Charlie Hebdo site from just about a year ago, right?
Correct. Well, yeah, it was in January, and it's pretty much down the street. Now, I don't know if that links any candidates that participated in the other ones, or if there's a big center there of individuals that are working together. It's very possible.
Yeah. There has been concern about the stream of refugees that have been going through France. We heard earlier today concern from people that, gosh, with all these people streaming into our country, perhaps there could have been some terrorists who came in with that stream of refugees into France. But you really don't believe that's a factor, right?
I don't believe that's a factor. I think they don't need to go along with the refugees. A lot of them have come into the country. Some of them have been there for quite some time. The individuals who carried out the Charlie Hebdo, for example, they were there for some time prior to the attack. So it's very unlikely that these current attacks, I mean, it's always possible, but my personal opinion is that it's not likely.
Markovic says terror attacks have stepped up against countries involved with Syria and Iraq.